Alright, in this tutorial, I'm going to be teaching you how to make a granny square, which looks just like this. So you're going to start out with your yarn and your hook, and there's two different ways to start it. You could start it with chains or you can start it with a magic ring. I'm going to be doing the magic ring today. It's a little bit of a more advanced way to do it, but it's pretty easy to pick up if you just understand how it works. So step one is that you're going to put this over your fingers with the bottom side down. You're going to wrap this around the opposite side. Then you're going to reach through under this first one, pull up a loop here, and then chain one with that same one that you just pulled up. So now you have a chain one and this loop. You're going to need to be able to pull on this tail and shorten it, so make sure that that works. Next, we're going to start the base of our granny square, which is just in clusters of 3 double crochets. So the first double crochet is going to be a chain 3. Since we already have one here, we're just going to do 2, 3, and then we're going to do 2 more double crochets. You're going to be including your tail within your loops. And this tail is within the stitch. So here's our first cluster of 3. In the corner, we're going to chain 2. 1, 2, and we're going to do another cluster. 1, 2, and 3. And then this is going to be like a square where each corner is this cluster. So here's the right side, here's the top side. We're going to do 3 more for the left and then 3 more for the bottom. There's going to be a lot of space here, but when we're done, we'll pull on this tail and make it all tight. So 2 more chains in between each cluster for each corner. And then 3 doubles. Two more chains for a corner and 3 doubles. Now we pull this tight and it looks like a square. So for this last corner, we're going to do this chain 2 and you're going to push in. I usually just use this space between the chain and the double because it doesn't matter that much and that's easy, and you're going to do a slip stitch. There's your first. So next thing that we're going to do is we're going to start our second round with a chain 3, and then our doubles are going to actually go into this corner space. And that is the most difficult part of the entire square. So now we chain 2 in the corners, but when we're just going across right here, we're only going to chain 1. And then we start more clusters into this corner. One, 2, and 3. 2 for the corner, and another cluster. Oops. Chain 1 for the gap, and then 2 more clusters in this corner. Two for the corner, and 3, a chain for the gap, unravel more of my yarn, and then another cluster, chain 2 for the corner, and another cluster. of 3 double crochets. A chain for the gap, 3 more in this corner, two chains for the corner, and then again we're going to single crochet, we're going to slip stitch right in this gap between our chains and our first double from the beginning of the round. Now you have another round. And you just keep doing this. I'll show you one more round, but granny squares are usually 5. You can count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. See, this one we only have 1, 2. I'll do one more for you and then we will finish the video. Our chain 3 and the 2 doubles into our corner space. A chain 1 for a gap. Then we're going to do 3 into this gap for this cluster. So you see that we had this gap here and we just put a cluster of double crochets into it, and then a chain for the gap, and we're going to do the cluster into this corner. Two chains for the corner. And another cluster. And we just continue on. Single chain for the gap, 3 doubles in the gap from the previous. Need more yarn. Whoop. It's fine. Everything's fine. Single chain for the gap, 2 clusters in the corner with 2 chains in between. And we continue around until we get to the end over here. Single for the gap, cluster in the gap from the previous round, single to create a gap, double clusters in the corner from the previous round, two chains for the corner and another cluster. Single for a gap, into the gap, single for a gap, cluster into this last corner, two chains, and a slip stitch to tie us off. So now we have 3 rows, and you just continue going around. You put your 2 clusters into your corners with 2 chains in between, and you do a cluster into every gap. And to create your gaps here, it is a single crochet. Let me know if you have any questions.